Welcome everyone to another professional sales e-learning video class. This is Tony Brancatella, and today we're going to look at the sales process, and we're going to start with looking at the first part of the sales process, which is the greetings. So here is the whole sales process, just to give you an understanding of what it is. First, we start with greeting the customer, qualifying the customer, determining their customer needs, and based upon that, which product you are going to present, answer to their objections if they have any, and then you react to a negotiation demand, a proposed alternative or possibly complementary products, and we have the closed sale, which also includes the customer's departure. So for this video, we're going to look at just greeting the customer. So now I'm going to show you some pictures, and you tell me if these pictures are well greeted, and we could discuss it in class. I'm not going to go into full details. I just want your opinion. Maybe you can post your opinions on Google Classroom, and just or we can see you tomorrow or the next class, and we can take a look at them. So here's one. What do you think about this one? I'll give you a second there to look at it. And here's another one. What do you think about that one? How about this one? I think you have an idea about this one because we did talk about it in class. Or this one? Or here, Mr. Head Cut Off. Here, Mr. Head Cut Off. Do you think this is a fine way to greet somebody in your store? Or maybe Mr. Back of the Head. How about this guy? What do you think? So there is a few pictures here to look at, and there is certain ways that you have to greet, and certainly, as you can see, there are certain ways not to greet. So we talked a lot about what to say and how to say it, and everybody tried to guess, and you know, how are you, and welcome to our store, and may I help you, and all this stuff. So let's take a look at it now. We'll reveal the mystery. So how many times have you heard these words from salespeople at a retail store? Hi, how are you? Can I help you? How can I help you? Are you looking for something particular? Bonjour, hi, puis-je vous aider? Comment allez-vous? A little bit of French. So, what is the answer that almost everyone gives to these? Now, especially, you have to understand what I'm trying to say here. When you say hi, how are you to someone you don't know, yes, it could be looked upon as being friendly, but is it really? And what is the answer? How does a customer have to answer that? Anyway, we'll look at that. So what is the answer that almost everyone gives? Well, they'll probably say, no thanks, I'm just looking. So, or in French, non merci, je regarde seulement. So really, this happens often when we use these type of opening greetings. So what should we say? How should we act when we actually greet someone, right? Here's a pretty good one. And here's another one that looks pretty good. So what you're trying to do when you're greeting someone, right? The purpose of a good sales greeting is you need to establish positive communication. You need to put the customer at ease. Make him feel like, hey, you're at home. Come on in, right? So you lead to, and this also leads to qualifying the customer's needs for sure. You don't want the customer to turn around and do this, right? So this is what happens often in stores where customers will turn around or will not want to be helped. But in actual fact, they do want to be helped. That's their main goal, but they just don't feel at ease or comfortable, and they certainly don't trust the sales associate. So, why do you think these greetings always end with the same answer? No thanks, I am just looking. Right? So, this happens enough because certainly when you are untrained when it comes to sales, right? You might say to the customer, right? No, I'm not looking. You might say, okay, go ahead, right? Or without realizing you're sending the customers out of the store by saying something like that. Of course, taking into consideration the nonverbals. So what happens often enough? Well, you're stuck without a sale, and you don't look very good, right? So here we go. Ba-dum. We're going to look at how to say, what to say, and what I expect from everyone. A very simple greetings. Here it is. So the very properly, now don't mind, that's only because of the picture, don't mind that hand in the pocket kind of a thing. Not supposed to be there. I try to get a picture to get him out. But that's really not that bad, but still, right, the way he's positioned is perfect, except for the hand. So proper greeting technique, location, location, location. Place yourself well inside the store. You don't want to feel the person, the actual customer being in their space, I should say. So you really don't want to be in their space right away. You don't know these people, you don't know these customers, or if you do, that's a different story. We'll get to that after, right? But if you don't, certainly you need to give them their space. And you don't want to block their customer entry, right? So certainly you don't want to be behind a counter, but you certainly don't want to be in their face as they walk into the store, right? So you stand well to the side of the main aisle or sideway position. If you notice, some of you, when you did your initial greetings last class, you stood face to face with the actual customer, blocking their way, and all they saw was you. They did not see their products, and you had to sort of show them on the side where the product was and all that. So you don't really want to do that. You really want to let them come in. Right? So this is you, entrance to the store. So you really don't want to get in their way. So proper greeting technique, as customer enters, hands to the side or directing in. Posture, certainly you don't want to be a power pose kind of a thing at this stage. You really want to let them feel that they have the power and not you. And the smile, certainly you're not laughing, certainly you're not just grinning, but you need to have a nice natural or neutral smile for sure. Side stance, like I showed you here, right? That you have to do. But the most important part of the greeting, certainly, how do you make people feel at home when you have visitors at your place? Well, because you're normally just very genuine, right? You have your friends come over, you're just who you are. So this is what is one of the most important aspects, is to be genuine. Smile, be yourself, and you'll have a different approach, certainly, or the customers will have a different approach towards you. Again, so here we go. Proper greeting technique, genuine smile, good morning, welcome to my store, and my name is, you certainly can say that, but here is the line I want all of you to use. May I direct you to something, right? So, may I direct you to something certainly has responses. We're going to look at 4 responses to this question. This is, you ask this question, and no matter what the communication style of the customer that you feel at this stage, that you can see, that you presume, right? You don't say a single word after saying, may I direct you to something. So here are the 4 responses. There's 4 most common responses that you'll get when it comes to saying something. The line that I gave you there, may I direct you to something. So response number 1, customer's going to say, well, yes, could you tell me about your products? Certainly here we have a customer that is willing to engage right away. So when the customer engages right away, right, customer has asked to see a specific item, and you can go directly into qualifying right away at this stage. Certainly you can lead them to you can approach them and you could bring them to the product, but you can also start qualifying and start asking questions, right? You don't want a customer to say something like, I would really just like to look around. So this would be response number 2. You like that picture, right? Cool. Uh, so response number two would be to may I direct you to something would be I would really just like to look around, right? So to associate here, what do you say? How do you get yourself out of this? Not to put the customer ill at ease. So you can easily say something like this. Please look around, but if you would tell me what you're looking for, I'll be glad to try to tell you where it is located. And these are the magic words, because try to tell is very formal and really is not saying, I'm going to show you what I think you're looking for, kind of a thing. So really what the words that we're really pushing for, and I want everybody to hear from, if you use this second response, right, in your role playing, you could use any of these four responses, right? So I'll be glad to try to tell you where it is located. So here really, at no time did you imply you were going to help the customer. There's that word, help, or follow her or show her anything, right? So at no time do you move from your original position. You don't approach the customer. The customer did not want you to approach her, and so you stay where you are, right? You don't approach. You stay away. What this does, certainly, it empowers the customer. It makes the customer feel more at ease that they have control over this situation. They don't have to do anything at this stage, right? They don't have to make any kind of decision right here, right? You're going to try to help them if they want it. That's it. So they're just in their little space, and they're fine with that. Again, you keep your distance at this stage. Now, the next one, really, right? Customer could say on response number three, right? They could respond to, may I direct you to something by saying something like, can you tell me where I can find this product I read about, right? So this is response number three. And where you respond to that, I'll show it to you again. Can you tell me where I can find the product I read about? Or, again, this is just a question. You can say, can you tell me where I can find the product that's shown here on this flyer? Something like that too. You can really change things around. But this basically, response number three, is that after you said, may I direct you to something, this is the answer that they give. So response number three, after they say that, how do you respond? Well, you can easily say, it's right back here. Let me show you where it is, kind of a thing. Now, right, and not before, you go with the customer. Continue questioning and go immediately to qualifying phase. So this is really another one that once the customer starts to ask that initial question when he wants to find something or she wants to find something or asks you where it is, you certainly can open up here and start qualifying. Another one, may I direct you to something? And the response would be, this is response number four. The customer would say, no, I just want to look at all of your new products. And how do you answer that when someone says, no, first of all, and I just want to look, again, this could change a little bit, but I just want to look around. I just want to look at your new products. Something in that regard. So how do you respond to that? So respond by the associate could be something like this. Oh, you will find them in the display cases. Oh, and by the way, here again, these are the words I want you to use if you use response number four, is, oh, by the way, while you are here, there are two new products, or again, you can just change it to something else. While you are here, we have this special. While you are here, we have this promotion. So it's, oh, by the way. So if you'd like, I could point them out to you. Again, then you could browse through our entire selection of new products. Again, this is just a response you can switch around. The main words here to this response, and the response is no. May I direct you to something? No, I just want to look at all your new products. Oh no, I just want to look around what you have new in the store, something like that. The response will be, oh, by the way, while you are here, there are extra products, sales, and things like that. And again, if you'd like, again, very formal, When you say, oh, by the way, that is very formal. And if you say something like, if you'd like, that is also very formal. I can point them out to you, and then you could browse through our entire selection of new products, let's say, right? So this is really response number 4. So, oh, by the way, right, gives more chances to the customer to keep the customer interested. And here's where really the communication starts to build, right? You're having a conversation without any kind of implication whatsoever, right? So even when you say, oh, by the way, you haven't moved an inch, you're basically staying where you are, right? You haven't approached the customer. You're just basically still, in your distance away from them. Now, depending on how they answer to that, again, in your script, you can make them come closer by saying, yes, I'd like to see this. No, I don't want to see that. Okay, I'll just look around for now, right? Things like that. So don't move until the customer moves off to look. Certainly, you need to stay with them, but not in their space, right? Now, look at that. These are customers certainly that you don't know. You never met them before, right? But what happens if you meet or a customer walks in, right, that you know them before and they have bought from you, right? Now, certainly you might not know their name or you might not know them personally to that degree, but you do recognize them and they give you the sign that they recognize you. All right, so this is a repeat customer. So here certainly you've got to show that you recognize them. You don't turn around and go, oh yes, this customer was a real pain in the butt last time. I'm going to waste my time with this guy. Yeah, you can't do that. Certainly, you need to show that you recognize them, right? And you need to go and closer to them. So if you don't remember the customer's name, at least let them know that you do recognize them and are happy to see them. You are always happy to see customers, no matter how much of a pain in the butt they were last time. So an effective greeting would be, hello, hi, it's nice to see you again. Just a simple greeting that you recognize them is fine. Customers love to be acknowledged. So really this is what you're looking for is acknowledgement. Oh, he remembers me. Cool, that's great. I feel more at ease certainly walking into the store when someone recognizes me. And the formality level just goes down a little bit. And you can have a more open discussion, I should say, with the actual customer. Well, it's been proven, right, that 70% of customers leave the store because they feel like no one cares that they are there. And, the picture entering an establishment waiting to be served, right? So picture that. You're waiting to enter an establishment waiting to be served, right? And what happens? Then you walk in, and for 25 seconds, no one comes in near you, or no one even says a single word to you. And you've been there, and you recognize some of the sales associate, but still no one approaches you. How do you feel, right? So you quickly realize that even half a minute is too long a wait, right? So this is really what happens with a lot of times is that because we have past experience as a sales associate, it doesn't mean that we had good experiences with those past repeat customers, and we don't want to go near them, so we go and hide somewhere, right? But those are repeat customers. Now, if you see someone, you're not sure if they've been to the store, they look familiar, possibly, right? So you could ask them very simply if they've been there before. This certainly helps in opening up the conversation, right? And at this case, you can ask them, simply straight up, ask them, if they've been to the store before. Hi, how are you? I've been here before. If you recognize them. Now, certainly, if you don't recognize them, you got to stick to, may I direct you to something, right? That's what you got to stick to. Now, don't feel bad if you say to them, may I direct you to something, and they turn around. Oh, I've been here before. You don't recognize me. Certainly, you can just turn around and say, oh my gosh, I just remembered who you are. You can just be very honest and straightforward. Don't lie and say, oh yeah, it's true, and you don't remember. Just say something about anything that's very honest at that stage, right? I just didn't recognize you. We're all human beings. We easily can not recognize somebody, right? So ask them if they've been in before, increase in sales for sure, absolutely. It reminds the customer they've been at the store before, and it also reminds them that you recognize them. So that's a big step forward, right? So familiarity means safety. Safety means trust, and certainly trust means will buy. So that's a main thing that you have to look at. That's really important. So sales associate can also say, welcome back. We appreciate your coming to see us again, right? This is really important recognition, right? So they may, and at this stage you may ask about, how was your last purchase? How was what you bought last time? Good or not, right? So they're really looking for this, right? They're really looking for they're looking for reinforcements, right? Because if you don't show reinforcement and all you show is that, you're rubbing your hands as you approach them, you want to sell them, take their money and run, right? Well, then customers may consider this to be a threat and you'll not get along with them. And you could just imagine which communication styles would be a clear threat at this stage. So customers in general certainly want to ask questions, right? So instead they claim they just want to look around, certainly, only because of how you approach them. But most customers really would really like to ask a few questions and would really be able to, ask for information from you, or you ask them questions. They really want to absolutely have a conversation, right? So this perceived sales threat then is certainly lowered, right? So how would you do that? So while you stand in one place, don't move around, right? If the customer doesn't move, you do not move. Remember this one. This is really important when it comes to your role playing. You stand in one place, you don't block the customer's way, right, at the store, and you wait them to move again. If you direct them to something, they said, yes, I want to go there, and they go first, right? They always go first, and you follow. It again, when they go first, it empowers them, right? It empowers them. So smile, smile, smile. I can't say that word enough, right? By asking if you can direct them to something, for sure. And the real secret of the greeting is to try to tell them where it is located, right? You know exactly where it is located and you know exactly what the product is, right? But you need to empower them. So you just, again, the formality and just is lower, right? So this try implies that you will only be given directions. You're not going to force them to buy that or to try it on, like some of you have forced the customer to try something on. Please don't do that. The customer wants to try it on, right? It's up to them that they want to try it on. You cannot tell them, here, try it on. Let them decide what they want to do. All right, so those are the main parts of the greeting. I hope this clarifies a lot of stuff that we looked at last time and you weren't sure where we were going with that, right? So I just want to show you something else, right? What I want you to understand is that the most important part in all of this, and as we take off in this role playing, we're going to do a lot of role playing from now till November, now till the end of the class, at the end of the module, I should say. So you need to certainly practice. You need to practice, right? And this is what really is the big step. The more you are familiar with something and the more your memory builds when it comes to what to say, all of a sudden, you'll just say it. That's it. It's that simple, right? And of course, this is what you want to do. You want to build relationships with your customers. This is so much easier to sell to people that you know or you feel comfortable with. Talk to them, look at them in the eyes, smile, all of this, right? So because attitude is what counts, right? Be present and be seen. Customer walks in, again, I repeat, but customers are a real pain in the butt. And then you look at him, oh no, this guy's going to waste my time. He's not going to buy anything. And you turn around and you walk away. Well, you're responsible not to do that. Your job is to go and see this customer no matter what. So you've got to be available, right? And again, I say stay clear of the customer's path. Really, again, in this sense, is let them understand that they have the power over you. They have the power over you. So a neutral smile, again, certainly helps. As you can see, most of the stuff is repeated here. And presumptions need to be confirmed. So you cannot ask questions that are based upon presumptions. You need to ask questions to find out information, right? So again, also, all customers are equal. Don't see a customer walk in and they look like they have more money or nicer to be approached or not, or you see them and you say, oh, this customer has my communication style, it would be so much easier. No, this is not what you should be doing. Okay, so this is basically it. So we're going to do a lot of greetings, and hopefully, you know, you had a chance to go to the stores and look and observe how people greet you or how they don't greet you. All right, so here's the exercise that I'm going to give you in class, and you can take a look at it. These are all situational exercises, and we'll do them in class. So great. This was fantastic. I hope it clarifies a lot of things about what to say and what not to say. Take a look at the video, enjoy it, and we'll see you in class.